everybody, it's Miss Jessie over at the Townsend Public Library, and thank you so much for joining me for this week's Storytime in Craft. Today I have a really fun craft planned, and it's perfect for this time of year because right now it is the month of March, and in the next few days we will be celebrating St. Patrick's Day. So I have a story about a mischievous little guy who is a leprechaun. And the story is called The Leprechaun Who Lost His Rainbow. And he's right here. Are we ready? So again, it's The Leprechaun Who Lost His Rainbow. And the words are by Sean Callahan and illustrated by Nancy Cody. Here we go. In the soft drizzle that was falling on St. Patrick's Day, Colleen wished her grandfather good luck. He gave her a red piece of licorice, her favorite candy, and then he was off to the parade to play his bagpipes. These right here are bagpipes. It's an instrument that plays beautiful music. Her grandfather had told Colleen that the notes he and his bandmates played were like colors on the air. Colors only your ears could see. Playing music is like building a rainbow, he said. A little man I once knew taught me that. Her mom and dad were going to watch the parade from the window, but Colleen sat on the porch under her yellow umbrella. What if it rained so much that everyone went home and no one heard her grandfather's bagpipes? That would be a shame. His music was so beautiful and so sad, it made people smile and cry at once. Sometimes things can be so beautiful and make you so happy, they almost make you cry. So that's what that means. It's happy tears. To pass the time, she played a song on her green penny whistle, which had a tiny shamrock printed on it. Her grandfather had brought it all the way from Ireland. It was her favorite thing in all the world, and she never let anyone else touch it. When she finished the tune, she took a bite of her licorice. Just then, a little man appeared on the top step. He was a leprechaun. "I like your penny whistle," the little man said. "You play very well." Colleen started to say thank you when suddenly the leprechaun jumped into the air and took the licorice stick right out of her mouth. He dropped it into his hat. "Thank you," he said. "I'll be needing that, or my name's not Roy G. Biv. It's just the shade of red I'm looking for." So that sneaky leprechaun just took Colleen's candy. He didn't even ask. Colleen was shocked. "What are you doing?" she shouted. "Give me my candy." The leprechaun frowned. "Your grandfather was much more helpful." "You know my grandfather?" Colleen asked. "Yes. We created a rainbow together back when he was a boy," Mr. Biv explained. Colleen was puzzled. Could this be the little man her grandfather talked about? Mr. Biv looked glum. "I've lost my rainbow again, and my gold is at the end of it. To be a leprechaun in good standing, I must have gold, so I need someone's help to build a rainbow." He paused, "And that someone is you." Colleen frowned. Leprechauns were tricky. Everyone knew that. Could Mr. Biv be telling the truth? "Let me show you something," the leprechaun said. "Spin round with the hat and watch what happens." She twirled around, holding the hat. Suddenly, a streak of bright red, just the color of her licorice, sprang out of the hat, hung in the air for a moment, and then disappeared. Colleen was amazed. "See," Mr. Biv said, "we're starting to make a rainbow." So when he came and grabbed Colleen's red licorice and put it in his hat, he magically created the red color, which is part of the rainbow. We're starting to make a rainbow, and if there is a rainbow, the sun will come out to shine on the parade. Colleen took a deep breath. Well, what do? For every color, I need something that belongs to you. Something red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Colleen looked around. There was her new orange basketball. She hated to give it up, but she tossed it into Mr. Bibb's hat. So see, here's his magical hat. And once the basketball goes inside, immediately an orange streak shot up. Do you see? Now he has the orange color of a rainbow. She gave him her yellow umbrella. Yellow curved under the orange. When her blue ribbons went in, a beautiful blue appeared. Do you see? The rainbow's starting to come back. Next to go was her indigo headband. And finally, her favorite violet scarf. Now there was a rainbow of colors coming out of the hat. But something was wrong. Right between the yellow and blue, there was empty space. Colleen knew which color was missing. Using your detective eyes, looking at the rainbow they created, what color seems to be missing right in the middle? I bet you're right. Yes, we need green, Mr. Bibb said, and not just any green, Colleen. It's a very hard color to find, which is why rainbows are so rare. It was raining harder. The parade goers were starting to leave. Colleen was nervous. What would the leprechaun want? You're going to have to make one more sacrifice, Mr. Bibb said. I'm going to need your penny whistle with the shamrock on it. That green is the last perfect color I need for my rainbow. Colleen started to cry. No, she said, clutching her precious penny whistle. My grandfather gave it to me. But Colleen, dear, if you give me the penny whistle, you and I can make the sun shine on this parade and on your grandfather, said Mr. Bibb pleadingly. Colleen held the penny whistle to her lips and blew one last sad note. She paused and then dropped the penny whistle into the leprechaun's hat. In a flash, the rain stopped. The sun burst through the clouds in a rainbow, complete with the most beautiful shade of green ever, spread across the sky. So look, all the colors of the rainbow have come back. The parade goers gazed up in wonder, and Colleen's grandfather began to play the bagpipes. The music was so beautiful that people smiled and cried at once. Nobody noticed that a pot of gold had appeared at the end of the rainbow, right on Colleen's front lawn. Roy G. Biv dug his hand into the pot of gold and pulled out a flute that looked just like Colleen's penny whistle. But this wasn't a toy flute. It was a real one, made of silver. And there was a shamrock on it that looked like Colleen's. Only this one was made of emeralds. Thanks for sharing with me, Mr. Bibb said as he handed Colleen the flute. And with that, he and the pot of gold were gone. Colleen's grandfather stood in front of her. Who was that you were talking with? He asked. Roy G. Biv, she said. He's a leprechaun. I thought I recognized him, her grandfather said. He gave me this flute, Grandpa. Ah, 'tis a nice one, silver, just like my bagpipes. What do you say we play a tune? So together they played when Irish eyes are smiling. The colors danced on air. So you can see all the beautiful rainbow colors behind Colleen and her grandfather. The end. So Colleen was such a good friend and helped the leprechaun finish his rainbow by lending all of her things to him. And then at the end, he gave her her own special whistle and all of his things back. The end. All right, so today for our craft, because we were talking all about rainbows, I thought we would make our very own rainbow using all the colors we just talked about. Are you ready? So I'm going to slide you back just a little bit so that you can see my table better. So in your kit that you picked up from the library, you have all the supplies that you need. You have a white half circle, and this is going to be the base of our rainbow. And I even put a little string on here in case you wanted to hang it once it was finished. We have strips of paper, all the colors of the rainbow that we just talked about, a tub of glue, and a paintbrush for spreading our glue, and then some cotton balls, which we're going to use these last to make a beautiful cloud on the top of our rainbow. So what we'll do first is we'll lay this part down, and let's just take our glue, and we're going to put some glue along the bottom. So it will be a little bit sticky, but that's okay. So spread it along the bottom. The straight piece. Just like this. Now, let's think, what is the first color in the rainbow? If you don't remember, let's think back to what Colleen first shared with the leprechaun. Well, the leprechaun kind of took it, but then remember she said, okay, I'll share it. It was a special sweet treat. It was candy. That was red, her red licorice. So we can put our red piece down first. So it will kind of hang just like this. And then next, she looked around her yard, and one of her favorite sports to play was basketball. And a basketball is the color orange. So orange comes next. So I just pressed it down. And it's okay if your colors kind of touch, because just like a real rainbow, sometimes they touch and they kind of blend right in together. So we have red, orange, and the next color starts with the letter Y. And it was the same color as Colleen's umbrella. It's yellow. So the next color in the rainbow is yellow. And we'll put that down. So red, orange, yellow. You can almost even see the sun from our window shining right through. Look how beautiful it looks already. So red, orange, yellow. The next one is green. The color of her whistle. And that was the color that they had forgotten, remember? So let's put our green piece right here. And then press it down. And if you need to add some more glue, if it's not seeming as sticky, you can definitely just add some when you need to. So red, orange, yellow, green. The next starts with a B, the color of the sky. Blue. So our blue strip is next. Then we have 2 colors left. So the next one is our dark blue color. And in the story, and sometimes when people talk about rainbows, they call this blue color kind of a tricky word. It's a different name for a darkish purplish blue color. It's indigo. So you may have heard me saying that word as we were reading our story. So then we'll do the indigo. It's looking so beautiful. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. And at the very end, it's our purple color. And another name for purple is violet. So our violet color goes last. So some of you may have noticed that the leprechaun in the story had kind of an interesting name. His name was Roy G. Biv. And what's neat about it is that that is a name that can help you remember the colors of the rainbow. So Roy starts with R, the same as red. And the next letter of his name was an O, which starts orange. And then his last letter in his first name is a Y, which starts with yellow. And then his middle initial was a G, which stands for green. And then his last name was Biv, B-I-V, which is for blue, indigo, violet. So if you're ever trying to remember the colors of the rainbow, you can think of the leprechaun's name, Roy G. Biv. Kind of neat. All right, so all of our colors are all set. So next, let's spread some glue all along the top, and we'll add some fluffy cotton for our cloud. Okay, so I'm going to put that down, and I'll tilt you down again. Here we go. We'll take some of our glue and put it all along the top. Spread it all around. And if some of it gets on your colors, that's okay too. It's like our rainbow is peeking out from the clouds. Okay, so now take some of your cotton balls and we're going to use our finger muscles and we're going to spread them like this. And then we can press them onto our shape. And then I'm going to take my next cotton ball and spread it all out and press it down. And I might still need 1 or maybe 2 more cotton balls. And then press them down here. And I think I have room for 1 more to go up at the top. And then make sure it's all nice and secure. And then there we have it, our own special rainbow decoration, perfect for St. Patrick's Day. Once it's all dry, you can hang it in a special spot, maybe even a window, so that the beautiful sunshine goes right through to your colors. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this edition of Storytime in Craft, and I hope to see you all real soon. Bye.